I'm the owner of Naturally Superior Adventures and Rock Island Lodge, and we're at the mouth of the Mishipeshu River on Lake Superior. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I should have a mug that sort of says
that doesn't say, yeah, exactly. And how long have you been here, and how?
Okay, so I'm from Toronto originally.
Okay.
I came up here about 20 years ago. I worked for a couple of years with Mishipeshu First Nation as their business manager. I did a trip by sea kayak from Hattie Cove to Mishipeshu, and I was completely blown away by that coastline. I imagined being able to get out somewhere along that coast and being the first person in the history of time to have ever sat in that location.
Right.
And that really inspired me to want to do something like that. And this property became available and I was able to buy it. And so Naturally Superior Adventures was born. If you look at the original title, it's from Queen Victoria in England to the Hudson's Bay Company of Adventurers for $400. And I suspect there's a fur trading, one of the Lake Superior's oldest fur trading posts, just up 1 mile up the river, Hudson's Bay Fur Trading Post. And she gave this, which was part of a 400-acre block, to the Hudson's Bay Company, probably as part of a deal whereby they would build a fort here. She also gave the right, to my understanding, she gave the rights to the Hudson's Bay Company of Adventurers. She gave them the rights to the furs on all the backs of all the animals on all the rivers feeding into Hudson's Bay.
So was this 1700s or 1800s?
1789, something like that. I have to dig it out.
Yeah.
So quite a powerful woman. I guess the natives weren't really considered in that deal.
No. Jeez. So then, did the kayak business come after or as part of the...
Yeah, for me it was that kayak trip from Hattie Cove to here that started the business. But what I did is I felt that because of Lake Superior being what it is, the best way to go would be by Voyager Canoe. So I bought a Voyager Canoe. The business plan is that I would fill it with people here and we'd paddle to Sault Ste. Marie and they'd get out and another group would get in and we'd paddle back out. And we'd go back and forth 10 times a season and I would spend winters in Costa Rica.
What a plan.
We've yet to run a single trip to Sault Ste. Marie. Business...
Have you gotten to Costa Rica though?
Yes, I have.
Oh, okay, good.
But I must tell you that that business plan was obviously not very well thought out. And the Voyager Canoe was a great marketing tool for us, but it actually didn't really make us any money. Interestingly, until I decided to sell it. And from that summer on, of course, we've had lots of people wanting to use it. But what worked for me is the kayaking, and that's my passion. And we did a lot of kayak trips. We do now. And then our guests just wanted to stay here.
Yeah.
And so we provided 1 room, then 2, then 3, then 4. And mostly by word of mouth. We're now completely full, and happily the accommodations allows us to do a lot of things on the sea kayak side, which would not really in real terms be especially viable.
It's a beautiful location right out here on this rock, and those little beach over there and the river coming out here. It's just absolutely beautiful. So do you close up in the winter? Yeah.
We run in the first week of November. We run a Gales of November photo workshop. And that workshop is all about moving water, either crashing waves out here or all the waterfalls we have in, and then that's enough. So I'm relating to you what I've learned from reading about Mishipeshu at the pictographs down at Agawam Rock.
Okay.
And maybe I've allowed the creative forces to enter that equation.
Yeah.
So the pictographs are really, they're not actually a record of history, but they're an interpretation of historical things of significance, including vision quests. And one of the key pictographs is the Mishipeshu, which is the Great Horn Lynx. And it shows at the Agawam Rock with Mishipeshu leading a canoe across a body of water. and it's believed that's a representation of Mishipeshu leading a canoe across Whitefish Bay to the U.S. side. There are other pictographs there with horses and circles representing different things. But the story behind Mishipeshu is that Mishipeshu lives in Lake Superior. It's the spirit of Lake Superior. And if Mishipeshu is upset, he or she or it flashes its tail and creates these waves. And so the tradition, as I understand it, is you need to leave an offering for Mishipeshu. And it's not a deal in our sense that, okay, I'm going to leave some tobacco and therefore Mishipeshu is going to chill out for a week and we'll have a great trip.
Right.
It's more that by me making an offering, I'm appreciating Mishipeshu, respecting Mishipeshu. Now I will venture out onto the lake with Mishipeshu in mind. There are other more significant interpretations. For example, the idea that by giving something up, tobacco, you get something in return, is that you'll get an experience from Lake Superior. Or you could go one step further and say, by giving up ego and this desire to be from A to B on a precise time, the Lake Superior will allow me to live, for example, or make, share with me some of the things that are on the lake. So that is my understanding, or that's my appreciation of Mishipeshu, and that's how I see Mishipeshu. And you can see that we've actually painted Mishipeshu on the front of our big canoe.
Right.
Underneath Mishipeshu on the pictographs are snakes. And if you look at the snakes closely, you'll see there's actually little feet on the snakes. And I would love someone to tell me what that's all about.
Yeah.
But if you, again, in my interpretation, my sense of it is the snakes are there. Apparently they live in Lake Superior and they hoard all of the gold and silver. And again, pictographs are a representation of things that people see. And I can imagine if you walk along a beach and you see the curves created by waves on the beach, it looks a lot like snakes going into the water.
Snake tracks.
Yeah. So I wonder if there's a connection there.
Yeah. Well, I often thought about Mishipeshu when we were out there this past week with those waves, and I think what you said about respecting is the key point. We can all wish for it to be perfect, but you learn to accept what you're given and be smart.
And yeah, absolutely.